we'll get Zextras back on here. And joining me tonight is the oldest man alive himself, Patience.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Tonight we have for you Lowered Expectations versus Puns Upon a Time, which means we have a full permission, of course. If you're casting puns, you just get free permission to give all the groaner puns that you want while casting them. So that's what we're gonna focus on tonight. Nothing else.
Perfect. We really should have had Whole Foods for that.
We tried. We tried to get Whole Foods. All right. Well, Coin Flip was won by Lowered Expectations, and they opted for first pick. Puns opted to ban out Tomb of the Spider Queen and Garden of Terror, which I was looking forward to. I haven't gotten to cast Garden yet. And then Lowered Expectations banned out Battlefield of Eternities and Towers of Doom. And now we're going to Brax's Holdout. Holdout, not Outpost, which is what the original lobby made was. So we're waiting for the lobby to get remade real quick. But not much to say there. Tell us a little bit about Brax's, Patience.
Praxis, it requires you to hold top point and a bottom point for a certain amount of time, at which point you will get certain percentage of the Zerg wave that's going to help you push that lane. So it's a 2-lane map. It can be very snowbally. I think wave clear is quite important. And definitely the matchup on the off lane is something to watch out for because it's not as boring as some of the other maps.
Yes, it actually... Oh, wait, he did it again. He picked the same map again. Alright, leave this one again. We've done this before.
Yes.
This is a very common thing to keep messing up the Braxis maps.
I think they really need to add like a ARAM in the map name or something like that in the next patch. Yeah.
It would be nice. And then also add the rest of the ARAM maps to it as well, because they are still missing some, I believe.
Oh, I see.
I mean, to be fair, Outpost is more fun to play. I mean, if we're being honest. In my opinion.
Maybe they should get one of those 1-lane maps into an actual competitive rotation.
It'd probably just have to be Lost Cavern, the default one. With no camps. The Tomb of the Spider Queen looking one. Speaking of Tomb of the Spider Queen, there's a link to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is not our game, but... or they just need to be able to differentiate. Let's talk a little bit about these teams here, because I have stats open for them. Actually,
perfect.
Let's do something better. Let's go to a different stats website, and let's get some map stats.
Map stats.
Map stats. Alright, let's talk about Brax's Holdout as a map. If you win just the first Zerg wave, 70% win rate. So if you win the first Zerg wave. If you win the first and second Zerg wave, so this means you get 100% of the Zerg wave, not taking into account the enemy percentages. It's 75%. So if you get the first and second one, it's 75. If you get just the first one, 70. So really just getting the first Zerg wave is the important aspect of the map. There's also a stat, actually, for the inferior Zerg rush strength win rate. And apparently, the strongest percent... You want to guess what the... Alright, there's also the link in NGS chat again. What the strongest percentage is of having the lower Zerg wave.
No, I think you'll have to enlighten me.
30% apparently is the ideal lower. If you're going to have the inferior Zerg wave, it's actually 30% is the highest win rate. Interestingly enough, the higher the inferior Zerg rush strength is, the lower the win rate is. But like 0% is 74, 15, 69, and then it goes up to 79, and then it slowly decreases down to, if you have a 90%, it goes down to 54% win rate for the inferior Zerg rush. I don't know which Zerg rush specifically that is, just that's that stat.
I see. Well, I'm looking. I mean, it's missing, I think, last week's games, but I'm looking at the NGS stats and stats of the Storm. Looks like it's only been played 6 times in Div D. First objective win percentage somehow is 16.7%. I don't know if that's wrong. But first keep win percent is of course up to like 83.3%.
That's interesting. You want to guess what the Brexis holdout first boss capture win rate is?
That has to be, I would guess, higher than 50%.
80.9%.
Oh wow, yeah, probably getting enough level advantage and time to be able to capture the boss.
It is, out of all the maps that have bosses on them, it is the lowest rate of games ended with a boss push. At only 14% of games ended with a boss.
Yeah, I don't think the boss on this map is very popular.
It's not. It's hard to take. It's a small map, so it's easy to get rotated on it. It's in the middle. It's not that strong, anyways. Like it is. It's definitely one that's like, it's the last camp on the map. They're all dead. I guess we get it, kind of deal. More so than anything. By the way, Lily says hi in chat. Patience.
Oh, hi, Lily.
Looking at. Can we just watch you play bots? Looking at what Puns Upon Time, because they're the next page of stats I clicked open, have been playing. They've mostly been playing Mei, Leoric, and Tychus. Those are their big three. Murden is actually their highest win rate tank, with Deckard being their highest win rate support so far.
Oh, I like that. I love Deckard.
Yeah, I'm sure the guy with the Deckard picture doesn't like Deckard. As for Lord Expectations, they've been playing mostly ETC or Fia and Brightwing. But their Varian's their highest win rate tank, though he only has one game. Don't know what their highest win rate support is. Let's see if I can figure that out real quick. Stukov. Stukov is their highest win rate support. So
Stukov is definitely a very strong support, so I'm not too surprised to see that.
And it looks like we're heading into draft. As always, I'm excited to keep going with stats. We could have sat here and done stats for a long time. Of course, when we get through the first ban phase, that's usually when I turn on predictions. For all of you out there asking about gambling already. But yes, I unfortunately can't gamble because I'm a mod. Mods and owners for a channel can't gamble. It's very sad. So, what do you think Lord Expectations will ban out here? Do you think it's going to be the Cho'Gall?
I don't think so, unless you have some information that I do not have.
I don't see any record of Cho'Gall for either team. Let me actually double check. Yeah, no Cho'Gall. Does it? But it is a good Cho'Gall map. Actually, let's see if we can take a peek here. So, Puns Upon a Time have come to Rexus before. They did play Rexar here. They also favored a Gul'dan, a new Tychus, Rhaegar. That was their comp. So, it looks like they've been playing a noob a couple times recently. There's of course going to be the Rexar ban, because it is Brexus, so you gotta get rid of that Rexar, if you know the other team plays it. So what do you ban from Lowered Expectations here? Do you think they get rid of the false set, which does still have W build being banned out at level 1? It's going to be the ETC. Their most played tank, comfort pick, nice one to get rid of. What would you ban here if you're Lowered Expectations?
It looks like Puns Upon a Time also plays Sonya. I mean, if they're on the offlane train, that might be another one that gets banned.
True. Diva's an option. Ooh, Lowered Expectations have the Zarya player. That's really good here on the bottom one.
Mei gets a ban against Puns Upon a Time. I'd like to see a Stukov ban from Puns Upon a Time. Because Stukov can be a really strong healer at the bottom lane on this map.
Both teams having banned out the enemy team's most played tanks. Trying to knock them off their tank matchups. And then the Orphea. So it is just the two most common picks of Lowered Expectations being banned out here by Puns Upon a Time. And there's the first pick false. We do have to remember, there's a banned talent. We could very quickly see a game 2 if it's picked. Actually, I don't think that's right. I think if he takes that talent and never presses W, it's okay.
I think that is the rule, yes.
I know that's the Horizon rule. I don't know if that's also how NGS treats it. I can't quite remember. It's going to be Sonya, like you called. Sonya, of course, being a top-rated offlaner right now, and Raynor, which could also be an offlaner. We Wildheart earlier played that in Storm Division.
I see.
Offlane Raynor. Something that he stole from the Randy Newman scrim data.
So it would be interesting if Fausted is the off lane or...
Blaze variant. Which one's the tank, which one's the offlane?
Exactly.
Actually, the 5-headed play here is you stick Varian in the offlane until 4, and then you have him pick Taunt and come down and tank, and you swap them out. So that way your 4-man isn't weak pre-4.
That is true.
Because you definitely...
I wonder if that's a response to seeing Sonya.
Could be. Definitely could be. They have played Blaze 3 times already, so that is a comfort pick as well. They also play Artanis, though, and Diva, which could have been good picks there as well. Also, Mothiel picked up previously by Lowered Expectations. Stukov now banned out, like you asked for earlier. Though Taunt into Silence, of course, always a scary, scary thing, especially with the root option.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what Lowered Expectations pans out against Once Upon a Time here.
And they are going to ban Brightwing,
Brightwing.
Which is it's not their most played support. Is it? Is it their most played support? Let's check real quick. It is not.
I don't think
Anduin takes that. But Brightwing is really obnoxious on this map. And Dragonshire, if you're the offlaner, because you're like, haha, respectable 1v1, and then Brightwing is like, haha, nope, and heals them up, and then you die. It is going to be Anduin though, Manduin, depending on how aggressively you play it, and Jaina, good wave clear. We could see a Globe plus spell power / mana at forward, and then E build that was very popular. That wasn't the popular build in HGC, but the E build Jaina was popular in HGC time on this map specifically for the wave clear. And then we're gonna see Ming Deckard. Lots of single target blow up out of Lowered Expectations. How are you feeling about that?
That kind of makes sense. That makes me lean towards they're probably looking to do a variant taunt into a blow up right away. Instead of variant being the off lane.
Do they offlane the variant until 4 though? Do you think they're gonna make that flex?
I think that's where your creativity. That's what your creativity is talking. I'm not sure.
I mean, my creativity says Falset sits in one lane, Blaze sits in one lane, and then you have Variant, Deckard, Ming rotate, and they get picks constantly between the 2 lanes. But that's just me, and that's just a game theory. Let's go ahead though and get ready to see Lowered Expectations versus Puns Upon a Time, Game 1 on Brex's Holdout. You still have a little bit of time. You can still get in your gambling bets. We're about, I think there's like 2 minutes left on that timer before bets have to be put in. Let's go ahead and introduce the teams. I will introduce Lowered Expectations, and then you can introduce Puns Upon a Time. We have Spudmax on Blaze, Dingo on Varian, Devo on Falstead, Daxtor on Li Ming, and The Funk on Deckard.
And on the right side, Once Upon a Time, we have Muffin Man playing Raynor. Oh, that loaded up.
Facility powering up.
We're about to begin.
Okay, we have Muffin Man playing Raynor. We have Jagura playing Muradin. We have Pat Overin playing Jaina, Barbara playing Sonya, and Lulu on Anduin.
And I thought I swapped back to Alhiz, but I did not, so let me make a couple of quick adjustments. Can I pick Taunt? I cannot pick Taunt.
Systems online. 10 seconds.
Is there anything here to see? No. Alright.
4, 3, 2.
So
it
it is
looks
going
like
to be
we have
Globes.
2 from the Lowered Expectations going top immediately against the Sonya.
It's interesting, because what does this do? Does this bring... This doesn't feel like it brings extra kill pressure. Unless he's just going to drop... he might just drop a couple potions and leave. Yeah, he's dropping 2 potions and leaving. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, that's pretty nice of Deckard to do that.
Stormer Raynor, it is Globes. It is auto attack heal on Sonya there. More pain. Bold strategy. I'm used to like the bottom half of my screen being covered in the talents and not the top half. So my placement, I still put the camera high. As these teams are going to go ahead and start trading back and forth a little bit. But of course, there's not really too much going on right now. Both these teams are going to scale up in damage a little bit later. Of course, lowered expectations waiting for that taunt though. Pet Wolverine is getting a little low there, but Lulu going to pump out those heals. Right now we're mostly just wave clearing. It is Q build Falsehood, so he did not take the ban talent. I didn't check that quite right away. We did check it. Not that we would have done anything if we had seen it. There's the Falsehood Fly coming out though onto the Sonya that's super aggressive right now, but Blaze is the one low. She's actually still quite healthy on this Sonya. Gonna start moving away here and get back safely. Still over half health. Actually gonna turn around on the Falsehood. 300 HP left on Falsehood. Jaina dies in the bot lane, but so did Varian. I was more excited with the off lane. I didn't realize that they were gonna fight so aggressively down here too.
Yeah,
Take one lane to fight in at a time. Go ahead and go back.
Sonya's really holding her own up top. That's really good to see against the two members of Lowered Expectations.
Yeah, she's sitting just below half HP right now. She's going to hit by the sun by the Blaze. The Falsehood W going to come out. Spin to win away, though, at 168 HP is the lowest number I saw there. As these teams continue to trade here in the bot lane. Still not quite level 4 there on the Varian as he drops down to 400, 330 HP. There's going to be jump forward 174, but he's going to be healed back up by the Deckard and walking away with 590 HP. Very impressive.
Yep. Varian needs to probably play a little bit safer. Now they do have 4 though. Let's see if it's going to be a taunt, and it is.
I was hoping to find the option to turn off the building HP bars. Oh well, we'll just keep on. They're not that distracting right now. As there's the taunt there onto the Variant or Raynor, and but the Raynor of course is one of the tankier auto attack DPSs in the game. Does have his E button. He did use it there. Actually, used it a little bit earlier. Does heal him for 25% of his max HP over 1 second, so it's a very rapid recharge. In the top lane, Sonya's still bodying this Blaze. Blaze is out of health and mana, forced to back, and Sonya's sitting here half Fury, which doesn't really matter because she gets back so fast at full HP. Bottom point now going back, aggressive rotation up there. They're going to go ahead and try to pressure Barber off this point here. There's the stun from the Blaze, but the spin to win coming out, and of course that heals more for each person that it's hitting. So kind of safe right now, but they're just going to swap. Top's going to go lowered expectations. Pun's going to take back control of bottom point. And
I like how Once Upon a Time is keeping track of how many up top and the bottom to make sure that the other team is not getting objectives, both with a global advantage.
Falsehood back bottom. He's halfway back to actually having his flight back. Could see him potentially do a quick rotation back top as soon as that's up. Barber's going to retake that point. Spudmax going to decide to clear the wave here. He's actually going more of the tank Blaze build than the gauntlet build that you'd see out of a lot of offlaners for that extra wave clear, that crit auto onto non-heroes, the attack speed kind of boost. I'm dropping. My stream's lagging out. My game isn't lagging at all though. Sorry if there's a huge drop stream right now. Don't know why that is. As these teams continue to fight back and forth here in the bot lane. Root there, but there goes another taunt there onto the Rainbow Birds. The pull from Lulu, gonna save him this time. Damn, my Twitch is just freaking out.
Once Upon a Time's doing a pretty good job making sure that their health is not getting too low, not to give leading resets here.
Another fly to the top lane here by this Falsehood, trying to use that global advantage to create as much pressure up here as they can. Don't know why I'm dropping 6% of all my frames right now on my stream. Don't have anything running unless something's auto updating in the background, but I can't check that in the middle of the game. Sorry for all the viewers if the stream quality is bad right now. We will look to fix that before Game 2 starts. But as these teams continue to duke it out here, though, Muradin, of course, having that sustain advantage, at least with the HP bar with his passive, as lowered expectations will start to take over the percent for themselves. But there's a nice blizzard there. He's going to actually pick up 2 there on the Jaina. We're going to see the top lane start to fight here for the point once again. But Barber really showing some dominance up here with this Sonya. I'm already feeling a ban for Game 2 coming that way.
Sonya seems to be very strong from what I can tell from my games as well, and it looks like the Sonya... I've heard a lot about the W build, but it seems like Sonya went more for the sustain damage build.
Can be a bursty build too with Leap, because you have the level 4 gives you 40% extra auto attack damage after you press W, and then you also get a crit heal, Poison Spear, so you kind of jump Poison Spear, W auto attack, you kind of die. But as this 100% Zerg wave comes off for Puns upon time, securing themselves a 70 to 30% win rate advantage if you want to trust the map stats coming out. Of course, they still have to secure that. This fort is taking some damage. They got the wall, but it hasn't really been crazy in terms of fort damage itself yet. Pulsed getting a little low there, but it's going to get healed back up as well. Stun there onto the Falstead, followed by the root, but attack coming out to Meriden, but it's still going to be Falstead. He's going to fall there. Now the Light Bomb coming out onto the Sonya, going to stun 2 as the Hyperion comes out to help push, and there's Spudmax going down next as body blocks coming out from Puns upon a time. That's smelling like they're going to end up getting the sport after the Zerg wave died anyways. Once they had 10 there, they were able to punish and push forward. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they lost a tower and a gate, but Jaina was able to defend this pretty well. And as well as going to be able to, she was the one that picked up 10 for them. Check out Sonya topping the hero damage, not a huge surprise there. Also topping XP. She's been quite a bit into that top lane. Bruiser camp and Siege camp being picked up on the top half of this map, and then I imagine both teams will rotate down and get the next camp. And everyone just checking boss, make sure no one's making a random quick boss play, as well as check for invades. As in fact, Pun's looking back here in the bot lane. Maybe looking to try to get a quick pick here. But the posting up on Dingo here, keeping track of where they are and if they're playing too aggressively here. Moving forward, there's going to come out a Deckard Roots, but Juggernaut will just jump away from that. Looks like whatever
Looks
the
like
stream issue
Falstead
is
went with a Hinterland Blast for probably the blow up. And Deckard went for Florinado.
Ooh, I like it. Maybe we'll get more NATOs later. We needed this game to go to 20 now so we can get more NATOs. My record is 5 tornadoes on the map at once. Let's see if he can beat it. Stream quality does appear to be fixing itself, at least in OBS. Hopefully it picks us up on Twitch as a Varian gets picked off there. This CC chain coming out of Puns is quite ridiculous. The stun into the root follow-up hitting very consistently there from Lulu and Juggernaut. Just spelling doom, really. Doom and gloom for lowered expectations. Hard to deal with. How would you deal with a CC chain like that if you were lowered expectations?
It is definitely rough for Deckard, who does not have plans for things like root and a stun.
Root's gonna miss, but the light bomb will
right
land. Lulu making sure there's always a follow-up CC onto that stun. Actually, that time she doesn't. She was too far back. There's going to be the Falstead fly top, but Spudmax is going to fall right before Falstead gets there as Barber in the top lane, asserting that dominance. Varian is going to die in the bot lane now. We're going to watch this 1v1. Falstead forced to E out. Barber going to reclaim that top one as bottom fort's going to fall to Puns upon a time. Gonna be looking to pick up their second Zerg wave here shortly, and this one will go straight to a keep. Even gonna steal away lowered expectations siege camp. How does lowered expectations coming back, Patience? What needs to be the game plan here?
I think I mean, we can't really stop a CC chain sighting just like that right now. But
Here
we
comes
probably-
Combustion, though. They're playing aggressively. Here comes the Light Bomb onto Ford. They're going to get the kill onto Raynor. But the counter kill onto Blaze. Lulu getting low. But here comes the Hinterland's Blast. Going to secure... Actually, Ming's going to die to the Zerg Wave. Dingo getting low there as well. On the very going to get hit by a stun. Going to be... Trying to get out. There's another protected status. Devo trying to get in the way of any skill shots. And Dingo's actually going to get out. Currently, we're sitting on 59 stacks of Hammer Quest, in case you can't see that number up there. Murden has finished his quest. That's all the major quests up there. 11 Globes for Blaze, 30 NSW. There comes the Lordnado, though, trying to push someone in to see if they can get a pick. Unfortunately, doesn't find anyone with that fishing attempt. The Funk trying to land something here. There's going to be the Water Ellie onto the Falstead. They're going to just focus it down, kill it off. This keep is still at about half HP. Here comes Muffin Man back once again. Meanwhile, Sonya, by the way, is pushing top keep down, getting almost as much value. Playing it safe, can actually back now that the Zerg Wave is gone. Here comes the Fly from Falstead looking for it, but flies over the bush, isn't able to interrupt it in time. And Sonya gets out, and now all of Puns sitting on their half of the map can go ahead and pick up their own siege camp this time. And that leaves the only boss. Oh, actually, Bruiser kept respawning for lowered expectations. We could see an invade coming out here from Puns. Or they could try to do a boss. Dingo's going to post up there. Keep vision. Very good thing to do as a tank. He's actually going to check the boss as well. Make sure that no one's on that. But very good on him to be checking and posting up for these vision checks to make sure they don't get rotated on early. 3 levels behind now, down at 16 talent here. They need to find something.
They definitely should not get picked off. They should be more careful. But it might call for a YOLO boss play at this point to come back. Palantir's down and 2 levels behind.
They're not YOLO boss play yet. I think they're still in look for a solid pick-off option right now. They also could choose to passively soak some of these waves, so not shove them back out. They should be able to get a little bit caught up in XP from that. But here's going to be the boss play now, coming out from Puns Upon a Time. This is what we were talking about. It's not often you just kind of go pick up boss on this map unless you have a huge advantage. And Puns right now sitting on a pretty happy advantage. 11 kills to 2.
I think that's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, they did watch for boss quite a few times. They missed it this time. If they did snip it out, the Lornado could have really helped out to steal the boss away from Puns Upon a Time.
Yeah, they also have the Wave of Force option as well. And now there's objectives coming up here in 15 seconds, which kind of gives them a timer of when they need to have this boss defended by. Need it off this map by then. There's also double camp bot now. Puns can be able to push up into that keep and try to finish that off as well. And then they have to deal with catapults coming constantly, and this is looking a little dangerous here for lowered expectations. They're definitely not out of this yet, though. False up fly, though, that's pretty aggressively gonna have to E immediately to dodge the spear. Here comes the Hinterland's Blast. Try to clean up some of that wave, get some of that CDR from hitting heroes. Doesn't get too much CDR, though. Here comes the rest of his team. There's a big group coming out. Lulu to deny the charge from Spudmax. As now Puns Upon a Time are able to back off and start channeling the 3rd Zerg wave of the game.
I think that at this point they should somehow try to get 16 as soon as possible and then try to contest the point and, as you said, maybe get a pick off and then try to turn the momentum here.
If I haven't checked specifically this map, but I know on Volsky it takes 52 seconds to channel a full objective. I imagine this is a similar amount of time. So they're about halfway through, so they got about 25 seconds remaining to get 16. Challenge just as there comes the light bomb. They're trying to CC change Dingo down. Dingo does have the protect option. Here comes Combustion as a retaliate ulti. That's going to hit forward. There's going to be the pull onto Juggernaut to pull him out. Variant is now going to go down. Spudmax getting low here as well. And they're just going to back off on lowered expectations.
Yeah, they are still not 16 yet, so this is rough. I kind of wish that they backed up as soon as they saw the water elemental come up and then re-engage. But it seems like they have to defend the Zerg wave now.
Yeah, full Zerg wave running down top. At least they have a keep here. They have a little bit of ability to try to eat some of this. They need to find a way to clear out banglings if they can to just deny some of that quick burst damage. Here comes the Hinterland's Blast to try to hit it. Does actually snipe quite a few of the banglings that were left alive. Here comes the Fishing Lornado, is unfortunately not able to find anyone. Juggerug playing super aggressively here in front of the Zerg wave with no keep left. Gonna stun, and here comes the Sun Chain onto the Dingo again. They're gonna root him, and he's gonna fall once again. Light Bomb now gonna come down, but it's gonna be unstoppable there on Spudmax. He's trying to peel off the enemy team from the core. He's gonna unfortunately fall as well. The core is doing its thing, shooting the fireworks down, trying to help defend itself. Here comes another Hinterland's Blast, the third one in like a minute. Velset putting in all that work, trying to defend this core. Once upon a time, just focusing on the core and ignoring the heroes. And that is going to be game 1. Going over to Puns Upon a Time.
That was a solid gameplay coming from Once Upon a Time. They really did a really good job with the tank engage and with the follow-up CCs and damage coming onto a very focused target, which did not really have a good chance, even Varian using that protect.
It did a lot of damage. It did feel like Lord Expectations had a game plan, and it was almost unfortunate the map option that they were on, because that felt like it may have messed them up more so than anything else. Being on a different map, I feel like they could have done better with that exact same draft. I like the constant rotations for Falstad. I like the idea of the variant taunts with Ming. It's a very consistent, pretty standard way of playing that. I would like to see them try this draft again on a different map. Something where they can play around the pickoffs a little bit more and ganking the soul lane, and maybe not have an objective that's gonna end the game as quickly.
I agree, and I would like to also see similar level of coordination come in from Variant taunting a target with a Ming Orb flying in, as well as Falstad Hinterland coming out at the same time to really put pressure onto the target that's taunted. And if Blaze is together too, he can also add additional stun or CC onto the target with a slow, extra damage, and I think he went, what is the ult called again? Combustion, yeah, which would also add to more damage and then damage over time. So yeah, I would like to see this comp again. Maybe it would do better in a 3-lane map. What do you think?
I think it could. I think it depends on map size. I think they need something a little bit larger, but not too large. And in fact, we're going to Volskaya Foundry.
Wow, these teams know what they want to do right away, taking no time at all.
Looks like Lowered Expectations opted for first pick again, and so map pick went over to Puns Upon a Time. I can see why they picked this map, though. This map is significantly less snowbally than Braxis by a long shot. This is a map that tends to go decently late. Let's quickly try to get some map stats. Tell us about Volskaya while I try to find the map stats.
Okay, well, I'm looking at Division D stats right now. It looks like average length is 20 minutes 57 seconds. Longest it's gone is 25 minutes and 37 seconds. Shortest is down to about 14 minutes and 43 seconds. It's a very popular map. It looks like in Division D, 16 games have been played on this map so far.
The new Infernal Shrines.
And first pick win rate is 62.5%.
Alright, so I may be incorrect in saying Volskaya is not a snowballing map. Do you want to guess what the win rate first catapult spawn with the highest 2 maps are in terms of win rate if you get the first catapult spawn? I.e. the first fort. Braxis and Volskaya.
Is it like 90% like you said before?
Braxis is 77.5. Volskaya is 77.1. So there's a 0.4% difference in the amount of snowballing based on first catapult spawn between the 2 maps.
Wow.
Which is ridiculous.
This map has been kind of topic of discussion because of the way that CCL players have played this, sometimes ignoring the objective or taking it down bottom right one and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how these two teams decide to use the objectives in their favor.
Yeah, there's a lot of options on this map. Now, we do have Diva players. They can play this. There's an Asmodan player on Lowered Expectations. We could see that as an option. But we're going to, more importantly, head into Draft and find out what these teams want in Game 2 of Lowered Expectations versus Puns Upon a Time. I'm going to go ahead and start getting things ready for predictions, but not launch it yet, so that way you have plenty of time. On my end, it says we're doing fine on the stream quality. Me watching the stream, that's still a little bit low quality, but that I'm leaving that low quality because then that should help lower the stress on the system. So if it's a lower quality, tell me and I'll see if I can figure out why. I don't normally drop. All right, I feel like the Sonya's gotta be banned here, right?
Here. Yep, there you go.
There it goes. There's the Sonya. Gotta get rid of it. That was... Yeah, really well played there by Puns with that Sonya.
Right.
Spazo? Was that... No, Barber. Barber was the player. Spudmax was the other team. That was the Blaze. ETC banned out once again, you know. I imagine it could just be the same two bans coming out of Puns. You know, you had something that worked, you just stick with it till it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that they lowered expectations banned Sonya because, especially on Braxis, they just lost that offlane so hard that it was really hard for them to really.
Yeah, maybe Puns will pick something that's a little bit more gankable if they want to go into that false set option again. There's gonna be the Mei ban once again. Mei, some teams play really well into Mei, and some teams play horribly into Mei, and it really just seems to be like Mei's power level comes down to like how comfortable are you countering the Mei more than anything. Of course, it's the Orphea ban once again.
Mm-hmm. So what is the first pick coming out of lowered expectations?
Asmodan, rip it. They're gonna steal away the Anduin this time.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically got a third ban because they just stole that away.
That is true, denying that from Once Upon a Time. I wonder if they're still gonna go with the variant now because there's no saving with Anduin on the other team.
Chromie Stukov, so the Stukov being taken away. Do you think this is Tank Stukov?
I doubt it, but then if I'm not really sure if they have another support player there, that would be cool to see.
Well, you just grab the Uther with it, right? And they just take turns tanking during the game. And of course, Chromie, very strong hero, lots of poke, lots of range. Could go rewind even and just try to force Anduin to pool on cooldown and get picks in between. There's going to be the Blaze once again, as well as the Cassia. I have mixed feelings. How do you feel about Cassia these days after the nerfs?
I think Cassia can be strong, but then I think she needs to scale, especially going to Q build. And given that this map, I don't know, you proved me wrong during the stats, but I doubt it's gonna go that snowbally this time. And if that's the case, then there might be some way to come back with Cassia damage catching up later on.
Jaina gonna be banned out there from Puns, who played Jaina, but
yeah,
lowered expectations haven't even played Jada yet, so that maybe they know something I don't. But no. None yet so far. Now, here's something. You're talking about this map going late. We've talked about that a little bit already. Gazo being banned out, which has been played by Lowered before, but not by Puns. So both teams kind of banning out their own picks there. Anyways, so Lowered Expectations has recently played Nazebo in a match, and this map, as we've said, can go long. Do you think they'll pull out Nazebo as like a late game win condition?
I mean, if their plan is to go really late game, they might as well stack up on scaling heroes, but that could also backfire in case they lose a lot of their advantage early on, so I think it's a risky pick, but I mean, they certainly could.
Leoric Tyke is coming out from Puns. Talking about heroes that don't really need to scale. Percent damage doesn't scale, really, because it always is hitting for the same percent. That also means though that they could burn if they lose a protector. There's gonna be the variant again. Is it the Ming? It's gonna be the Kel'Thuzad. Lowered expectations. Have played Kel'Thuzad once before, and so now you're forced to have Juggerod pick up a tank here, unless you're gonna do something like Leoric tank or Stukov tank, and then in which case you're looking more for maybe a healer or an offlaner. But traditionally, this is gonna be the tank slot coming out. What tank do you think they should pick here?
They did pretty well with Muradin, and Muradin can be self-sustaining, but they're going with the Nubarak, which is a little bit squishier, but then does have a pretty good engage into a double stun.
This will be their third game on Anubarak this season for Puns Upon a Time. Which draft do you like better?
I kind of like the draft of Lowered Expectations better because there isn't a cleanse on the side of Puns Upon a Time, especially if Taunt, the combos from Kel'Thuzad start landing, there's no save. Whereas Lowered Expectations has Anduin for saving people out of things like Entomb, stuns, and then they also have a way to counter stun with if they do end up picking Light Bomb.
All right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Let's go ahead and introduce the teams once again as we go into Game 2 in Volskaya Foundry of Lowered Expectations versus Puns Upon a Time. On the side of Lowered Expectations, we have Malfrex on Anduin, Spudmax on Blaze, Devo on Kel'Thuzad, Dextor on Cassia, and Dingo playing the variant once again. And on the sides of Puns Upon a Time, we have Lulu playing Stukov Juggerab on Nurak. I was trying to... I didn't have you do it because I wanted to see if I could do it fast enough to get through both sides. Pet Wolverine on Chromie, Barber playing the Leoric, and Muffin Man himself on Tychus. Do you know the Muffin Man?
I'm getting to know the Muffin Man this game.
So this is going to be the Q-Build Cassia that you mentioned before. Why don't you walk us through what Q-Build Cassia means?
I think it kind of makes her into a little bit of a mage role and have more burst damage than a sustain damage. And her Q quest keeps increasing the Q damage over time, so we'll see how she does in terms of landing those skill shots to really scale for the late game.
Just checking to see if I want any of these. No, I don't. Alright. As these teams actually aren't really going to be fighting mid much. Both teams Puns choosing to go top. Now, of note, it's Spudmax top, and they sent Dexter on the Cassia to go deal with Liz Leoric. Do you feel like that adaptation of the laning assignments is going to have a huge impact in this early game?
I would like to have Cassia in the 4-man to get the stacks, but I think Once Upon a Time also knows that there are a lot of quest heroes on the side of Lowered Expectations, and maybe they're trying to not give them the quest progress that they would like to get.
There's a chain up to 1 stack on Kel'Thuzad. Cassia, though, can get stacks in the bot lane still. It'll be a little bit slower with only 1 hero to stack off. And actually, they're going to send Spudmax down there now to deal with that. So it's just something to do with that early rotation. I kind of liked it. Throwing them off, keeping the rotation spicy and moving around. Lulu with a big arm there, going to smack around Fortification Camp. It's going to be picked up slightly faster there. Or slightly earlier, not necessarily faster. Earlier by Lowered Expectations.
It looks like Leoric's trying to do a little bit of a double soak while the other team members are busy getting camps and so on.
He did take the Q talent at 1, so we will be able to heal up a little bit, like in quick burst in these team fights. We'll see what he goes at 4. That could have a huge impact. Maybe might be going range, so Neo Peasants. Lowered Expectations throwing a bunch of CC, barely missing Juggerab there, blind me in the bush. Barber once again actually ahead here in this bot lane. The Spudmax is already tapped. But there's going to be some fighting mid as Lowered Expectations continue to climb and get a bunch of their quests. They do scale a lot better, I would say, because you have Kel'Thuzad scaling with his quest. Cassia with an infinite scaling damage quest, so she's going to be able to scale up forever in this game. And,
looks like Lyric did go Neo Peasants, so he is definitely winning the waves right now. Blaze is having a hard time trying to soak and win against Leoric in the offlane.
Once again goes for more of what I would call a tank build on Blaze than than like the traditional wave clear offlane style of gauntlets. But does changes for the bigger area. Could see the slowing knight, which is going to be able to hold the chokes on this objective really well, no matter which one they're on. That oil's just going to fill it up and hold it. Just continue to move around.
Lowered expectations is the first on the point, and it's kind of interesting to see how these two teams are very mirrored on camp takes.
Yeah, Puns are gonna rotate up, get the early objective to try to clean up top lane, maybe get some pressure going there. They do have the option, especially in this early game, to just give it and burn it down with all this percent damage that they're running. 50% now for Puns, or for lowered expectations, as Kel'Thuzad gets picked off there in the top lane. They're down to about 12 seconds left on this objective, but actually no, Leoric's just going to walk on and take it, starting the 52-second countdown for Puns to be able to get the first protector. As they also get the first heal camp of the game, the secondary mini objective.
The death timers are pretty low right now, so it's anybody's game at the moment. So I would like to see lowered expectations go in and try to get some good engages in here.
About a half level lead right now for Puns upon a time. There's going to be the Chromie time trap onto the Varian. There's going to be the dive forward as they try to CC champ, but there's the pull back from Malfrix with the counter CC there. The Blaze coming in. It's going to be the Anubrak getting low. There's the turn camps from both teams as well as the heal camp. Dingo getting low 400 HP, but there's going to be another Kel'Thuzad combo as Chromie's going to go ahead and finish off that Varian. Slowing Sansa's out as the Chromie is level 8 and has an ultimate pick up option. Cassie now going to be stunned. There's going to be a secondary stun on her. There's going to be Chromie damage as well. Going to go ahead and finish off that as well. That is 2 members down for lowered expectations as Puns upon a time pick up the first protector, and that was a lot of P's in that sentence.
That was really close for lowered expectations. They couldn't quite get a kill, and then it allowed the Once Upon a Time to come back and get a pickup instead.
They're so stacking the Kel'Thuzad at 15 seconds. Is it up to 30? Yeah, so halfway done now with that level 1 quest, and then comes a very, very dangerous threat. Going to be able to threaten to pick off Lulu, Pet Wolverine, one of the Tychus. Trying to figure out who else was their squishy on their team. He's in the protector right now. As they continue to go forward here on the sides of Puns. Got the top well, got the top wall, down to about 13% left on that. 5 seconds left. They actually very efficient usage there on the protector. Ran out of time in HP around the same time. There's going to be the cocoon. There's going to be the dive forward onto the end, and he's going to end up falling. But there's the counter kill on the Anubrak from the Kel'Thuzad combo. Lulu going to slap away lowered expectations and walk away. Well played. Actually, trading right now heavily favors lowered expectations. Being down 10 and still going 1 for 1 is gotta feel like at least a somewhat of a win right now.
Oh, definitely. If you're behind, taking a trade like that is definitely advantageous to them.
Especially down such an important talent tier. Let's go ahead and look at all the ultimates here. We got Flailing Swipe, Cocoon. We saw both of those ults. We also have Slowing Sands, which we saw earlier. Entomb, and it's going to be Commandeer Odin coming out of Tychus. Here comes a invade coming out of Puns Upon a Time. They're going to go ahead and find a lot of damage here onto both the Blaze and Kel'Thuzad, but they're both going to go ahead and get out thanks to the pool. Anduin being very important in both these games so far. Do you think this is just a matter of Anduin wins games? Do you think Anduin wins?
Oh, that was definitely a good pull. I'd like to see that as a support player. And Light Bomb too, to allow the counter engage. So we'll see how Anduin gets utilized here. It seems like he's doing a really good job right now.
21 stacks now on the Kel'Thuzad. His stacking has ramped up. There's going to be a time trap onto Anduin, but no follow-up coming from there. There's the ping onto the support camp. Both teams dancing around it. Blaze is in the bot lane right now for lowered expectations, trying to help catch them up. They are about 1 level behind right now, and they're just going to go ahead and hand over that support camp for now. And there are that. Let's go ahead and just take a quick... Oh, wait, time trap onto the Inwind followed by the Sling Sand, but no damage follow-up. Just teasing them there, see if they can get how many cooldowns they can pull from them. Alright, let's go ahead and take a quick look now at Lowered Expectations. Also, of course, we have the Light Bomb you mentioned. We have Combustion once again. The Shadow Fissure, which we saw, the Valkyrie, and of course, Taunt. Picked up the Shield Wall, so the Protect status once again. There's the Icicle, and then the full combo onto a Nubarek. Don't have this extra spell damage just yet, but they were able to get him down to half HP. Gonna continue to spam out those ultimates from Kel'Thuzad, landing those very consistently. Threaten the Muffin Man just for mounting as well. Devo there, putting in work both these games. Game 1 is that false set with the constant rotations. Game 2, spamming out that Shadow Fissure there. Much better than I could.
Lowered Expectations definitely showing potential here, that they are doing a much better job following up on the taunt. And then it's getting close, right? We're already closing to level 13. It's gonna go late game and we'll see how the scaling would work out for Lowered Expectations.
Almost done with that Kel'Thuzad quest, up to 23 stacks. Here's another Icicle. Ooh, barely missing Lulu there as she was mounting up. The vision coming out of Chromie, excuse me. Keeping an eye as well so they know how far back to sit. Here comes the offlaners though, about to make this a 5v5. Looking for the Entomb here on Leoric. He's going to dash forward. He's going to miss the Entomb onto the Enderman. Wait, sidestep it. But there's going to be the Nubarek CC following up. There's going to be a quick kill onto the Enderman. The Cocoon there onto the Varian. Blaze is trying to set it up. The Combustion going to land that onto both the tanks. Commandeer Odin out now as well. There's going to be Spudmax going down. Barber going to fall as well. Both the offlaners going down. Valkyrie's going to unfortunately come out and not hit anyone. Dingo sitting pretty healthy because he was sitting in that Cocoon for a lot of that damage. Now he's going to be CC'd. There's going to be the Protect. Here comes the combo coming out of Kel'Thuzad onto the Tychus. He's going to be able to dash out though before the root as Kel'Thuzad unfortunately low on mana. And that was a 2-for-1. And if you're seeing a puns, you don't mind trading out the Leoric that often. Death timers are still kind of low though. They're going to have a chance to go ahead and back up, heal up, and come back in for another round as Kel'Thuzad did finish his quest and now has that extra damage. 75%.
And Kel'Thuzad did get a lot of value there because everybody was grouped together. I think he got his ultimate off multiple times.
It doesn't give me the option to pull up Icicle cooldown for Kel'Thuzad. As these teams are posturing, we're about ready for round 2 here on the second objective of the second map. There's going to be the time trap there onto Cassia. Chromie's going to throw out some damage, but isn't going to find much. There's going to be the charge forward there onto a Nubarek. Here comes the Light Bomb. Kel'Thuzad combo as well, going to land onto 2. The jump forward, and they're going to finish off 1. Muffin Man forced to back out. There's going to be the taunt onto Stukov. Meanwhile, York in the background. There's going to be the Valkyrie going to clip Lulu onto the corner, though. Spudmax going to dash out, trying to make sure he survives as well. And that's going to be a quick kill there for Lowered Expectations as they start to climb back up, to approaching even on these kills and on levels.
That is a big win for Lowered Expectations, getting 1 kill for nothing, especially since they're still behind. But 16 is close for Once Upon a Time, so they should be careful how long they stay here and how to engage.
Work in the bot lane now for them. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek here at XP soaked. 16,000 for Leoric, 8,000 for Blaze. That's where a lot of this XP differential is coming from right now. Of course, Leoric, of course, has shorter death timers as he's able to heal himself back up in death. Lowered Expectations knows that down 16 they need to back off. They're going to go ahead and retreat off this point here. Able to hold it as long as they can. Now they're just going to look for the camp, look for a way to get 16 of their own as they hand over the second Protector to Puns upon a time. Pick up the second Protector. There's going to be a quick combo there onto the Stukov down to 500 HP. Spudmax coming in from the side, going to look for it. Unfortunately, is going to get CC. Going to get pulled back to safety there. Malfrex. These pulls from Anduin have been on point this game.
Definitely. Malfrex is saving his teammates quite many times from a deadly combo or engage.
See the Tychus and a Nubarek in this once again as they run forward here on Lowered Expectations. They're going to be comboing onto the Cassia. The taunt as well. Going to go ahead and kill her off right behind the Protector. Unable to save her, unfortunately. This CC combo from Lowered Expectations coming together very well now that they have a lot of this quest completion coming through for them. even forcing this protector back behind the fort. It did pick up 2 forts. Lyric is bot though. He did get the wall. Could be pressuring that well, but is gonna play it safe, make sure he doesn't go down. Spudmax can go down there now, pick it up. Lord Expectation is actually choosing to go top lane and get some push up there. There's the Cocoon on Severian though. Not quite gonna have the pool there from Enduin yet, but here comes the Valkyrie. The light bomb going out. Jungle Rub's gonna be hit by it. And the silence now coming out there underneath, as well as the Cocoon from the Lurk that wrapped in. There's gonna be the pool there onto the Anduin right over the, or Stukov right over the combo, because Leoric was unstoppable, so it pulled him a little bit farther than Devo might have been prepared for. Lulu gonna tap. Barber's looking to get from the flank again onto Devo. There's gonna be the pool though. Dingo still pretty healthy and has this protect coming up every 5 seconds. There's gonna be a time trap though onto the Anduin, or Varian, wrong member of that family. Tyka's Odin gonna come out. Unfortunately, that's gonna spell the death for Anduin. Pool was still on cooldown. Was used earlier to save Kel'Thuzad. Spudmax though, during that 4v5, was in the bot lane trying to even out that lane, get some extra damage. Gonna go ahead and pick up a tower and a gate for his work. Heal camp gonna be picked up now by Puns Upon a Time. Fortification camp gonna be looking for a fight. Ooh, chains timed out on the icicle, unfortunately, before he could look for that combo. Malfric's gonna be stunned there by a Nubrak. Here's gonna be Tychus and Chromie walking forward. The Cocoon there onto Blaze. Malfric's looking to save him though. Gonna be able to charge out there on his own. Strong, independent Blaze. Don't need no
I'd like
Anduin pool.
to see Mavericks a little bit in a safer spot, because he's the only one that can't pull himself out of dicey situations.
17 to 19 in terms of level. Still anyone's game by a large margin. Very even so far. Map buildings might not make it seem like it is, but it is extremely close. One protector could still end this game before lowered expectations.
I definitely agree.
As we approach that coveted 3rd protector.
It looks like Once Upon a Time have just been using the protector more in a traditional manner than the way that was suggested by CCL.
Yeah, I mean, we're not CCL level players, so by no means we need to try to force that. Here comes the miss combo from Kel'Thuzad. Don't worry, he can try again in 4 seconds. As Puns Upon a Time are doing some slow stage here in the bot lane. I'm just going to use the Chromie abilities there to push on it. With them picking up 20 though, lowered expectations, making the smart conservative play. Gonna go ahead and back off and just try to find a way to get 20 on their own. 30 seconds plus the 52 seconds it takes to get the objective. They could definitely get 20 before objective is finished.
I like the fact that they are also aware of how important the late game teamfight is, respecting the 20 on the other team, and trying to soak to 20 like you suggested in 2 lanes out of the 3 right now.
You could also
They
look
might
for a
get a
pick off
pick
here
off.
on Barber. There's going to be the stun. There's going to be the unstoppable, though they weren't able to chain the CC just right to keep him from doing that. And York was able to walk out.
Barber's doing a phenomenal job giving Once Upon a Time the objective from the XP soaked and surviving quite well, even on the gank attempts.
2 levels still needed by Lord Expectations to get this 20 talent. Puns aren't on the objective yet, which means every second they're not on that is an extra second that Lord Expectations have to get 20. Looks like Puns are just happy though to go around pushing waves, maybe look for a fight, steal away a fortification camp while they're at it.
They do have the 20 advantage, so any team fight that happens will be in their favor, so I'm not too surprised that they would be looking for one, but now they're stepping onto the objective.
Half a level to go still for Lord Expectation. I would like to see him just run it down top lane. Pick up the heal camp and then just run it down top lane until you have 20. We're going to go ahead and start hitting that heal camp, and it's actually going to be a rotation up from Puns Upon Time. They are thirsty for some fighting. Support camp's going to be finished. Who's going to stand on it? There's going to be the dive in from a Nubrak. Here's going to come the combos from... There's the silence puddle. And it's going to be Blaze who falls. Next is going to be Anduin, who is also standing on the point. Dingo getting low now. They're going to have to give that over as Kalthazar gets picked off in the back line. Cassia trying to find a way out, maybe get a counter kill on her way out. That's going to be a 5-man wipe for Puns Upon a Time. They're not even going to go back for this objective. They're just going to start sieging down middle with that Commandeer Odin at level 20. The spread damage that they had there in that tight choke point, heavily favoring Puns Upon a Time.
That was really unfortunate that once they noticed that Once Upon a Time was coming up, they were a little bit undecisive and also had multiple people instead of just tank step onto the point, which allowed Once Upon a Time to get a lot of the AoE damage and then entomb of the multiple members into the silence, along with Stukov's silence as well. And it looks like with that late team fight, they're just gonna take the core.
The GGs come out from Lowered Expectations as Puns Upon a Time take the series 2-0.
Great play coming out from both teams. It seems like Once Upon a Time had a little bit of a tighter execution on their combos and rotations, and very strong offlaner.
Definitely showed some options there for Lowered Expectations, though. I think a little bit more practice. I think they can actually be. They looked like they had the makings of a pretty scary team. Once they get their combos pieced together just a little bit more. They're almost there.
I definitely agree. There were very scary moments for Once Upon a Time, especially in game 2, with the Kel'Thuzad combos, taunt, stun from Blaze, and Anduin, Light Bomb. And then I think it just did not work quite as well because they ended up falling behind in levels, which probably gave a little bit of a level and stat advantage on the Once Upon a Time.
It was very close. I am reaching out for an interview right now, waiting to hear back.
While we're waiting, I would like to point out that I'm very disappointed that Whole Foods did not actually give us any good puns to mention on stream.
I think he threw. There was a couple other people in chat who were throwing out puns. Alright, you can give away points now. We are going to go ahead and have an interview. We'll be heading into NGS chat now to do that. And he said, oh, there we go. There is Supreme Captain Lulu.
Oh yes, that is the correct title.
How are you feeling right now?
Feeling really good. It was a good set of games tonight.
There was some definite possibility there. Both teams pulling out some very nice combos throughout game 1 and 2. Let's talk about game 1. You went to Brax's Holdout because you guys are rude like that. We always get to play Brax's Outpost.
Yeah, it was really close. It's really annoying how similar those are named and in their icons. I may have set up the wrong lobby multiple times this season. It was nice that it wasn't me this time.
I mean, the literal only difference in their icon is one has a group of heroes on it and one doesn't. Other than that, it's the same photo, just like, we're not going to include the heroes in this one.
Yeah, and it's really small heroes too. Like, it's still got the big boss guy, either way.
But we did end up playing Brax's Holdout. Your Sonya doing quite a bit of work there in the top lane. 2v1ing quite a bit, actually, against the Falstad. What was your drafting ideas going into that? Did you just like, we're going to pick counters, we're going to have a set plan? What was it?
We knew what we wanted to ban, and then we were able to get some like good comfort picks for the rest of the draft, so it just ended up working out pretty well for us.
Patience, do you have any questions on game 1?
So how much practice do you have on wombo comboing those CC chains and then blowing up somebody?
We have a little bit of practice. We probably like don't get it to fall the right way as much as we would like, but you know, when it works out, it's really nice.
uh, so, game 2, you guys got map pick once again, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I guessed. I just guessed off of first pick.
Oh yeah, that's generally how it works.
Generally, not every time, but most of the time.
That's true.
Did you guys purposely pick the 2 most snowbally maps in the game statistically?
No. That was just, you know, the way that it worked out tonight.
I also, to be fair, we were talking about how, like, well, Sky goes late game, it's not that snowbally, and then I pulled up the stats, and it was like, there's a 0.4% difference in taking first fort win rate between Braxis and Volskaya.
Oh, really?
Braxis
I
rolled
didn't
out
know that.
77.5% for first catapult spawn, Volskaya
Oh, wow.
77.1%.
Huh.
The 2 most snowballing maps in the game, according to Hot's log.
Well, you see, they banned May, so we couldn't have snowballs on our team, so we picked snowball maps.
I could have picked Alterac, at least it is snow.
That's a good
Alright, so you
point.
go into game 2, you guys obviously took the same bans. Sonya gets banned out, because heavily respect ban. They play Nazebo and Asmodan, some really nice scaling heroes. Were you prepared for those kind of heroes to come out?
Ooh, you're saying like that's in their pool?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
Apparently you
that was
weren't, because
not
you didn't know.
I'm not the one that does the scouting on our team, and I was directed towards a couple bands. I don't know that we would have been prepared had they came out, but I trust Rob. I'm sure he had something in mind if it did come up.
I was hoping for a Nazebo game personally. I would have been excited to watch.
I'm very glad it didn't happen.
Just spend the first 20 levels talking about how many stacks Naz have, and then at 20 how much damage he does.
They
Yeah.
did bring out the KTZ in game 2 though. That
Yes.
did some work for sure.
Yeah,
I
it
almost
was
got
very
100 to
scary.
0'd at least once.
Yeah, we saw a lot of your team get 100 to 0 by that. Calthuzad was extremely scary. But once again, your offlaner putting in quite the work there in Leoric to get you guys an XP advantage, which honestly, a lot of those combos may have just come down to scaling difference in terms of HP.
Yeah, Barber does good work soaking. We try not to compliment him too much for fear that his head will be too large and he won't be able to play anymore, but he does an awesome job, like, just doing the offlane thing and allowing us to do other stuff on the map.
For sure, it was a very exciting game too. Lots of combos back and forth, lots of CC chains back and forth. How frustrated did you guys get with the Enduin pools constantly saving people?
Yeah, that was annoying. I think we were more annoyed with Kel'Thuzad. Because, like, every time it's like, all right, let's go. Oh, wait, now I gotta wait so I don't get chained to something.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad is one of those heroes that, if you're good with Kel'Thuzad, it's extremely scary, and you just feel like you can 1v9 if the game comes together. And that game was pretty close. It did come down to just one fight there at the end in a tight choke point. If they were level 20, the extra Kel'Thuzad hits on the ultimate may have won the game for them. But you guys were able to get there in time. You guys looked like you were spending a lot of time there in the 20 versus 19 level looking for that fight. Was that your game plan or just...
Yeah, that was. We had the 20s and we were looking to take the fight. And they had avoided us for a little bit, but we were able to catch them around that heal camp.
Patience, do you have any questions on game 2?
Nope, not really. You already asked the question about the Celts Death combos. I'm a support player myself, so I was a little bit worried for you guys as not playing a healer without the cleanse or pull like Anduin like in game 1, but you guys did pretty well, keeping everybody alive, avoiding the combos, making sure you're still landing those CC chains and putting out the damage. So, well-deserved win.
All
Yeah,
right, I
thank
do
you.
have one last question on game 2 before we head into shoutouts and wrap this up.
Hit me with it.
When you saw the Kel'Thuzad come out, did you at any point consider rotating, going, we'll have Stukov tank, we'll pick up Lily for the cleanse?
That's a really good thing to keep in mind. I hadn't considered it, but I will bring that to our next draft. Be like, Rob, what if we just main tank Stukov for you? I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then you get to play Lily, you know.
Yeah, it's a
Win-win.
win-win.
Yeah, or it could have been Uther actually, because the tank was the last pick for you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's true too.
main tank
That's-
Stukov
that's
so you can
too
play
normal.
Lily sounds funnier.
Dude, Stukov's a pretty thick boy, and his tentacle arm hits hard, so he could do it.
He was pulled out as a tank in by Wildheart in CCL, and then again they've done it at least twice since then. I feel like I've seen one other an NGS team I think has pulled it out since then as well.
Oh, that's awesome! I need to find that.
I
That
know Randy's
sounds
have ran
amazing
in a
to
couple
watch.
time in quick match.
Oh, that shocks me about 0% to hear.
I think
It's a
Randy's
very
have played.
Majesty idea too.
I think
right?
Randy's have
mean,
played like most Wildheart drafts at this point, and at least quick match. It's gotten to the point where Wildheart's playing things. They played things today that we had practiced previously in scrims, and we're like, they're just stealing from us now.
Wow, the students have become the masters.
That's right. Just waiting for that Awfully Morales. Do you have any shoutouts you want to do as we go ahead and wrap this up?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for picking up our match. We really appreciate it. And to the guys over at Lowered Expectations, it was a lot of fun. And shout outs to my team. Shout out to Barber a little bit less than everyone else because his ego's too inflated from everything. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right, Patience, do you have any shoutouts you want to send off?
yeah. Thanks for both teams for playing awesome matches for us to cast. Thanks to you, Majesty, for having me co-cast games. Always a pleasure. Thanks for NGS putting up this awesome amateur tournament for a varying level of teams to compete competitively. And of course, hi to Lily, our #1 fan.
Alrighty. Thank you to Twitch chat for coming out and supporting both these teams. Thank you to both teams, of course, for putting on such an excellent show for all of us. Shout out to NGS for putting it all together. And really, we will see you all next time in the next